Woo! What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Klamtucky Bourbon Boys. We are I scoured the internet again and came up with an Aperol Old Fashioned, and we're gonna be drinking that today. We're also be discussing.
You scouted what? Where did you find this?
Scoured the internet.
Scoured the internet. Got it. I'm sorry, it was a little slurred. I have no idea why.
Wow. All right. Well, I haven't even started yet today.
I know.
We were saving the blind results for them, but
All right. I'm sorry.
sorry, I'll enunciate a little bit better for you.
How are you guys doing? Hopefully well. It's hotter than shit here. We don't have any air conditioning in the old cabin here, so it's a little toasty. You'll have to bear with us.
Wow, I didn't think it was that bad, but okay.
Well, I got beads of sweat starting on the dome. Somebody's gonna notice that on my close-ups.
Oh boy. Well, I'll drink then.
Well, what are we drinking?
Oh, all right. So I discovered an Aperol Old Fashioned. So this is ounce and a half of whiskey, bourbon, a half an ounce of Aperol. You got 2 dashes of orange bitters, 1 dash of cherry, 2 teaspoon of simple syrup, and we didn't put any fancy garnish, but
No, and it didn't say to put it in a shaker to mix it, but I put it in a shaker over ice, and then drained it into a or just regular tumbler over ice. So here goes.
that is tasty.
Oh, jeez.
Orange forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's from the Aperol. I mean, you get orange from an old fashioned in general, but that you definitely, I guess the apricot is coming more.
Yeah, I do get apricot
Yeah.
on that. That's interesting. Huh. That's good.
I can definitely come back.
Mm-hmm. So I was giving him a hard time. I have to divulge. We have a tasting group, and last night was an evening of sampling, blind sampling bottles, which was a good time. And so we may or may not be feeling like having a whole lot of cocktails today, but here we are sacrificing ourselves for the goodness of the station and for you folks. But no, that's a good drink.
Yeah, I can make a couple more. That's fine with me.
I have no
That's a
problem
good
with
drink. Highly suggest you. I mean, if you're wanting to diverse from your old fashioned, um, that's a good side tangent. That
It's like a summertime old fashioned.
yeah.
It's got more
Yeah.
of the fruit forward flavors in that to it. I like an old fashioned any time of year, but this really adds a different dimension to it. It's more, again, that fruitiness. It's good. It's really good.
Well, and we've just kind of started experimenting, I guess, with the Aperol. The Aperol spritz just on the back of the label. That's delicious too, and it definitely plays well with this old fashioned. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good drink. I like it. I think we were talking a little bit earlier, and I think we're going to maybe do another episode or two, and then come up with our greatest hits of summertime. Some of our recipes that have hit well, and just kind of rehash those with you guys and reshare the recipes. So stay tuned for that.
well, that and we did crack the code on the paper plane too.
Yes, yeah.
So
Having all four of the correct ingredients is a game changer. Shocker, right? So, yeah, I've got all the right ingredients now for the paper plane. I've made several of them. They're spot on. That's a great drink. So, don't ever trust a teen. Well, I'm sure she was a teenage, a mid-20s liquor store clerk to recommend replacement.
oh
Yeah, replacement liqueurs.
Luxardo. or whatever
That
it was.
Luxardo Maraschino, I'm sure it's got a place in the world, or they wouldn't still be making it. It has no business in a paper plane. But the Amaro and Amaro Nonino is what was recommended to us by our local bartender. I did find a different Amaro. I can't think of which one it is, and it's fantastic. And apparently the key is the Amaro based liqueur. So we'll revisit that and make that one again, but not today.
Yeah, not today. Today, so on my side of the table, the discussion is, I guess, worst bottles. I don't know what you want to call it. So, I guess a little bit of backstory. So, I guess Mike's first bad bad bottle. He was so ecstatic to get Calumet Farms. What was that? A 12 year?
No, it's 8 and 15 if I recall correctly.
The green
The blended.
labeled Calumet Farms.
Yeah,
And we popped that thing open, and it was just,
like licking a bale of hay.
yeah, hay overwhelm. And since then, I've had that different bottle, and hay-ish, but not forward to enough to not drink the bottle.
Well, yeah, and then I sampled that same bottle, your brother-in-law's, and all of us, his was really good. So I had to come back and revisit mine that I'd probably not touched in close to a year.
Wonder why?
Yeah, couldn't bring myself to pour it down the drain. Couldn't bring myself to drink it, but cracked it open. He and I both took a taster out of it. It changed, and it's not bad now.
I'd still say not as good as the brother-in-law's bottle, though.
Right.
It's just so. I brought Garrison Brothers in today, and that was another. It was on my list to try, and excited to get it. And immediately, you called it, but latex paint is.
There's no other way to describe it.
No,
If you were to grab a can of Sherwin-Williams and slap some on your tongue, there you go.
I'm definitely not drinking this today, but oh, you can smell it in there.
I don't.
Man, it smells like I don't know, some version of white Home Depot paint.
Yeah, it's not good, and which is it's so we were discussing. Why is it? These are both popular bottles. I went and got the Redwood Empire because I'd seen it on numerous podcasts, and it's good stuff, and also on different forums and that on Facebook, and so I went out and got it, and I was super excited to have it, and then I drank it, and I have not actually, for the sake of research. So this is the Redwood Empire Pipe Dream Bourbon. I think it's just their standard fare.
As he tortures himself. So I guess the question is, does something happen at the store level, or maybe a truck gets baked in the sun, or what happens to the bottle? Why? Because I can't believe Garrison Brothers in general. How do you say that? Could get away with that, or
They're too big and they've gotten too popular.
somebody likes latex paint. I mean, but and if you guys know, maybe comment or something. How, why, when? Because the Calumet Farms. I mean, we've had a good bottle after
Yeah.
the crap bottle. So, somebody knows, please enlighten us, because I want to know. I mean,
I was very hesitant to try the Calumet Farms, the second bottle. And yeah, I was pleasant. Well, I was pleasantly surprised enough that I came back home and cracked mine open. And it's far from my favorite. I can't say it's a great pour, but it'll get drank slowly. Might use it as a mixer or something. And then the Empire, I don't know how to put my finger on it. It's just not good. I mean, this is my go-to mixer, and this bottle is, I don't know, 2/3 of the price of the Redwood Empire, and it's a lot better whiskey. So I haven't drain poured it yet. I'm not sure if I will or if I'll try to use it in mixers, but yeah, they can't all be bad. I know everybody has a different taste, different profiles that they care for, but bad is bad, and especially that Garrison, um, especially that bottle. And I'm sorry but it just all I can taste on that is paint. So
And it's gonna take me. Somebody else is gonna have to buy it, and I'm gonna have to find it and be at the dude's house or something. I mean, because I'm not buying. I mean, they have Garrison has probably as many as Redwood, but they have probably what 4, 6 bottles a piece. I mean,
probably, yeah, yeah.
either selection is pretty wide.
Yeah, they make a variety, and it can't be a seasonal thing because they're aged for several years. So I'm not sure how old the Garrison. Honestly, I'm not sure how old the Redwood Empire is. They call the Redwood Empire Pipe Dream, and it should be called Pipe Cleaner. but, and I'm sure there's a lot of you right now that I'm upsetting or that vehemently disagree with me. I want to hear from you. I want to know what your thoughts are on it and where maybe I'm missing out. But for my taste, so my challenge today for this episode was bring in your opinion, your worst bottle, and I'm going to bring out mine. And so this is what we came up with, and out of probably combined over 130 bottles, 120 bottles, these two are the bottom of the barrel, no pun intended. Just not good bourbons. But
Okay, so another question: have you given that to anybody that actually went, "Ooh, that's okay"?
no, I served it to you, and you didn't like it either, and I haven't served it to anybody else. But now that you mention it, I've got a guinea pig in mine that was at our tasting last night.
Well, that's okay. So there we go.
And he likes a lot of stuff that I don't like. So I might share that with him. Matter of fact, I might just give it to him.
That's better than a drain pour. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I hate to see it go to waste, so to speak. I mean, to me, it's not a waste, but I'm just not a fan. So, yeah. So what is your least favorite, and what is your opinion of these two? Would like to know. Like to know what notes you pick up off of them if you've had them before. Anthony Aguirre, I know you're a fan of the page. Thank you for watching, and sorry I didn't get to hang out with you more over the weekend, but we'll do that soon, hopefully. But have you had either one of these, and the rest of you too? I'd like to know your thoughts on these bottles. So,
and a lot of people I know, Texas whiskey is a little
different.
It's a little different. So I think it's supposed to be a little bit sweeter, which I generally agree with. I've had several. The TX whiskey or Texas whiskey. I like that one.
That bottle you brought me is like vanilla.
Yeah,
it's like vanilla extract with bourbon in it.
Yeah, and I know there's one from Austin. I can see the label.
Still Austin, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. I haven't had that one yet, but I don't know. That's my profile anyway. I don't mind the sweeter whiskey. I mean, the Russells, the Clyde Made. That's my wheelhouse anyway. So I can't downplay on a sweeter whiskey from Texas, but man, that is just there's
good
paint.
Stuff.
It's paint.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Terrible. Not good stuff. So anyway,
I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the. Evan Williams is not. You can't knock it. I mean, it's a good mixer. I don't know if
I've sipped that at night. I poured a little Glencairn of it and tasted it. And I mean, it's 100 proof, but it goes down so smooth and got a nice kind of a narrow spectrum, but a nice round flavor to it. It's got the traditional caramel and brown sugar, blah blah blah, bourbon traits. But that's why I like bourbon because of those traits. So I'm not gonna knock any of it. It was a point I made to one of the ladies at our tasting last night that joined us is um, bourbon 99% of the time is going to have brown sugar, maybe molasses. It's going to have those sweet underlying tones. And sometimes you need to, because she struggles to pick up the nuances of it. And I'm like, they're all pretty much going to have these notes. But that's to me, the fun of the bourbon journey is, okay, I know what to expect out of a bourbon outside of paint. But that being said, it's the nuances that you pick up. Are you getting some grains? Is it hay or you know peanut butter or all the different things that can go into the background of a bourbon? And that's the part I enjoy is hunting for those background flavors. I think that's probably what a lot of us like is trying to pick up those nuances that make a bourbon unique. So yeah, it was it was a good night last night. It was some good conversation had and some good discussion and some great. There wasn't a bad bottle in that mix, honestly.
No, I was just gonna comment on that because I don't know why I'm gonna go ahead and say that the ultimate loser, and I'm surprised. I would call the Coopers.
Yeah.
And that really surprised me because I'm a fan of Coopers. I did not bring the Coopers myself, but I had a bottle of it in my cabinet. And when that came out, it's like that. It surprised the heck out of me. I
Me
think you
too.
too. But I was just like, wow. But then when we were going through the other ones, um, you never know what you were drinking. You know it was good or bad, or you liked it or didn't like it, but you got, I think, different flavors from the blind test.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
we were wrong on a couple of them,
Yeah.
and then when the results came out, we're like, what?
I swore I knew on two occasions what I was drinking. I knew what it was. And we had no idea what bottles were brought at all, period, outside of what I brought. I knew it was in the mix somewhere. He knew what he brought was in the mix somewhere, but they were all bagged up. Um, his wife, who's not a bourbon fan, was pouring. And so we really had no idea what we were tasting. And I brought a E.H. Taylor, and I could have swore that my H. Taylor was the best until it was unveiled and it was actually your Yellowstone. Because I thought I was drinking my E.H. Taylor, and that was the small batch.
Right, and I'll disagree with you a little bit. I mean, because your Taylor, now that we know what was what, I mean, the Taylor was a little bit more narrow. That was smooth as all get up. I mean, I have these certain, I don't know. It's not really a bourbon, but so the Evan Williams, the Johnny Walker Blue for me just goes down, and it's
And you're not a
delicious.
Scotch drinker.
No, and I'm yeah, exactly. But it's just smooth as all could be. So there's very few bottles that fit that characteristic. I mean um, the Taylor, um, the Centenario tequila does that for me. And I think the winning thing last night. I mean, I brought it was an expensive bottle. I brought the Yellowstone toast
Toasted.
toasted barrel or whatever toasted version of the Yellowstone, and it was poppy. It had flavor. I mean, it was all over the place, and I think that's one the crowd over in general. That Taylor was just. It's not bad either. It's just
I would have gladly paid, though, $100 for that bottle of Yellowstone. And I know you didn't. I think I was
it,
with you when you grabbed it off the shelf.
yeah.
But if I had spent $100 for that bottle, I would have been happy with it. It was that good. Um, I'm not disappointed in my Taylor. Well, I was a little disappointed in it last night. I'm like, I don't know. I just have a thing for Taylor. I'm a big E.H. Taylor fan, but that Yellowstone was delicious. That was really good.
And yeah, I'll drink Taylor Today even. No, but I'm just saying it's Taylor's not bad.
No, no. Not hating
It's
it.
surprising. I guess that was our first blind tasting, so maybe that added to the mix or something. But
I like that, and I don't know if you guys out there, if you ever get together and do tastings with your friends. If you don't, I highly recommend it. It's a great, it's a great way not only to kind of bond with your bourbon buddies and maybe bring. We've had people that have kind of circled in and out of the our tasting group, and we have kind of our core group that's there every week or every month. Every week, thank God it ain't that often.
yeah, boy, yeah.
But no, we try to do it at least once a month, and it doesn't always work out. But we probably get in, I don't know, what, 8 a year.
Yeah, I
And,
would safely say 8. Yeah.
and it's also a good way to build your collection, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you're buying bottles, you're bringing them. I've heard different ways of doing it. Usually we will bring a bottle, we'll taste it, and then whatever you bring home with you. I know other groups that you bring a bottle to the host's house and then you leave it, and it either way you do it, it helps uh, people in your circle of your bourbon circle to build on what they have around the house to sample and try. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, but I really enjoyed the blind tasting and not knowing what we were getting poured. I think that ought to be the way from this point on. Honestly,
I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it's a good time.
you never know. You never knew what it was until you at the end. You formed your own opinion on it just by the way it drank,
Yeah,
and I mean it smelled and stuff. But I mean it.
it's real easy to form an opinion on a bottle when you can see the label.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not so easy to do when it's just a glass sitting in front of you. So I enjoyed the heck out of that. I thought it was a real good time, and again, I think it's maybe not every time. You know, I think bringing different themes to the tasting night is kind of a way to break it up. But I think in general, if we don't have anything else going on, that a blind tasting is just the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just a fun night. I mean, you get to go to. We usually rotate houses. You know, I served ribs last night. I mean, it's just.
Fall off the bone ribs. They were delicious.
Thank you. But yeah, no,
Like
it's
a
just
dozen of them.
it's just a way to bond with your friends and share your houses and your food, and it's a good way to try. I mean, what did we have last night? 6 bourbons, 7.
Five or six.
Yeah, it's just a way to branch
Unless
out.
you went back through them 3 times like you did. No, it was probably 18.
It's a good way to diversify your palate.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, I think on that note, I'm going to make another batch of the Aperol Old Fashioned, and we will catch you folks in about a week. So enjoy your week. I don't know where you are when you're watching this. It's hotter than heck here on the West Coast. We're in Southern Oregon, and we're in the hundreds, which is pretty unusual for us. But stay cool. Make yourself an Aperol Old Fashioned, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Let us know about the Aperol Old Fashioned too.
Yeah, love to have your feedback.
Yeah,
Like and subscribe.
Yes, sir. All right.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
guys.